there's a couple of different things at play here. On the one hand, on a very physical level, sleep is greatly important for the workings of the physical body, but also for the workings of what most of us identify as our emotional state, our psychological state, our mind. Because that which is taking place in the physical brain, the chemistry, the electricity, is that which we experience as emotional states, as feeling states, as our inner psychology. And we know, for example, that being awake all night, I forget the actual statistics, but it's something like being awake all night is the equivalent of basically being drunk. And I forget how many drinks it is, but literally, lack of sleep impairs us cognitively, intellectually, emotionally, the same way that drugs and alcohol do. So in the same way that if someone were really drunk and they did something really stupid, or they acted in a way that later they really regretted, they would say, oh, well, I was just really drunk, or I was on drugs. Meaning the chemistry of my brain was messed up. And then people would say, oh, yeah, you were just drunk or on drugs. But lack of sleep actually impairs our brain functioning in the same way. And so the first very logistic, physical piece here is not sleeping impairs us. It impairs our immunity. It impairs our digestive system. It impairs all of the systems of the body, including the workings of the brain. And so we do things that are stupid. We're cognitively impaired. We make bad decisions that we later regret. We lose ourselves in anger. We lose ourselves sometime in tears. I remember when I was a very, very young child, from the time I was just a little kid, if I ever would get upset, my mom knew, oh, it's time to take a nap. Just that simple thing, young child, crying or having a temper tantrum. Ah, must be you're tired, have a nap. So that which sometimes feels very deeply emotional, anger, pain, frustration, in many cases is attributable to something as simple as having been awake all night the night before, or not having slept properly for many days. So do whatever you need to do to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. That's first. But second is the awareness that there's a lot of different pieces that contribute to us being anchored and grounded. And it's not just sleep. Because there's also lots of beautiful times when we stay awake all night in prayer, in meditation. And far from being emotional wrecks the next day, we're inspired and uplifted and exuberant. So it's not as simple as hours of sleep. It has to do literally with the charge of our batteries. If your mobile phone is running low, you get staticky. Suddenly you can't hear properly. Suddenly a lot of the apps aren't functioning very well. Things shut down. You go on low power mode. Lots of things no longer work. And the same thing is true with us. As our internal battery weakens, and it weakens not just due to sleep. It weakens due to whether we're meditating, whether we're doing our yoga, whether we are living in truth or in lies, whether we're living from a place of ego or a place of being connected to God in truth. Things that deplete our batteries are a constant excessive focus outside on gotta get this, gotta achieve this, gotta have that. Running after unfulfilled expectations. And therefore the frustration, the anger, the pain that comes from not having them fulfilled. Not being anchored in our meditation. Not moving through the world from our heart. Not living in alignment with our Dharma. These are all the sorts of things that deplete our batteries. As well as physical things, of course. Lack of sleep, junk food, pollution. All of that stuff impacts us. And so this is where, when you lose yourself in anger, what it means is something very simple. Your batteries are low. And sure, some piece of that may be lack of sleep, but I would bet that there are other pieces as well in there. And so the solution becomes get proper sleep. But there's also lots of people in the world who lose their temper on 8 hours of sleep a night. So it's not as simple of a solution as just the sleep. Stay anchored, stay grounded, stay plugged in. Think literally of a mobile phone in the charger. It's got to be connected. It's got to be plugged in. Stay connected. Stay plugged in to that divine source within you, through prayer, through service, through love. Recognize that you are a vehicle and a vessel for God's will to flow. In love, in service, in truth. And the more you live as that, even if sometimes there are nights without much sleep, you'll be charged by something other than just sleep. You'll be charged by an energy that keeps saints and sages and yogis deeply peaceful, awake, enlightened, charged, even staying awake all night. So do both of those together and keep your batteries as charged as you can on the physical level, on the emotional level, and on the deeply spiritual level.